Goshay Marhaba. Everybody has to die one day. When somebody dies, it is not something that will not happen to some other people. Everybody has to die one day. Kullu nafsun zaiqatul maut. But what should worry us that before we die, we should achieve our goal and our purpose of life. Most people don't even know why do we take birth in this world. They are born, they go to school, college, and then university, and then they become a professional, they get married, they have children, and they die. That is worrying. One needs to understand the purpose of life. Although many people practice a religion, and even so, they don't seem to practically understand the purpose of life. Between man and God, either there is a very strong bond or there is nothing. Either you are completely dedicated to God or you are not. But complete dedication with God needs a bit of explanation. Because if you think people who spend most of their time in the mosque or in any other worship place and spending that time in those worship places is a mark of total dedication to God, that is a wrong perception. Complete dedication does not require from an individual to stop taking care of his family, or does not stop anybody from raising his kids, or doesn't stop anybody from helping out humanity. In order to understand complete dedication to God, one has to have paramount knowledge of spirituality. Spirituality has been uh, regarded as a form of mystical knowledge. Now, if you knew English well, you would be alarmed by this word mystical. Mystical means hidden, obscure, and oftentimes in English circles, mystical knowledge carries a negative connotation. However, spiritual knowledge, by definition, is as crucial an essential element of life as anything else in life is, or maybe more essential and more crucial than anything else in life. Because a man is a compound creature. A man has more than one dimensions. It's not just the physique that you carry, and your physique is not entire you. The source of life is not your body. Source of life is your spirit, is your soul. And it is very important to understand, especially those who follow a religion. All religions talk about life before this world and life after this world. Judaism talk about life prior to human inhabitancy in this world, and also discusses life hereafter. Christianity, Islam, all three major monotheist religion talk about life prior to this world and after this world. When you die, your death in this world does not end you. Your death in this world does not finish you off. I can give an example of life in this world. In 1999, myself and Murtaza went to Japan, and we met some Pakistanis there. Some of these Pakistanis were from Peshawar. We met them at the airport when we were coming back. And I was talking to one of these guys, and I asked him, "How long have you been living here in Japan?" And he said, "8 years." I said, "Wow, you must have been everywhere. You must have seen everything." He said, "No, I don't know what Japan looks like. From the airport, I went to the factory. And in that factory, I stayed for 8 years, never came out. And now from factory to airport. So I have seen only two places in Japan, airport and factory." And I asked him, "What's the use when you haven't seen anything?" He said, "I came here for a purpose, to make money. And about enjoyment, I want to enjoy time with my kids, with my family. I have gathered enough money. I go back to Pakistan. I live a wonderful life there. If I wasted my time in Japan and, went on roaming about here and there, I wouldn't be securing any money and securing my future and future of my family. So I did not want to enjoy life during my stay in Japan. Rather, I worked hard, made considerable amount of money, and now going back to Pakistan. And with that money, I will enjoy life with my family." And it is completely sensible. Same is the case with your life in this world. You have come here for a reason. In the primordial times, when you all assembled before God in a divine assembly, God gave it to you to make a choice from selected options available. And you made a choice. Now you don't know what choice did you make. Whether you made a choice of shutting your eyes on all else and stay in a very close nearness and proximity of God, or you made a choice of obtaining luxuries of paradise, or you made a choice of obtaining luxuries of this world. You don't know. There are stories of rich people, like somebody is so rich, he's a billionaire and he has all the luxuries of life and all the comfort. But still, inside his heart, he is not happy. His heart is not content. And he doesn't know why. Every morning when he wakes up, he asks himself, what is it that is lacking in my life? I have everything. But still, why my heart is not content? Why my heart is not at peace? And the answer is because maybe you made a different choice and you have gathered all the luxuries of the world. Maybe the choice you made in the primordial times was not luxuries of the world. Maybe they were luxuries of the paradise. And then we have seen people who are very religious and who are doing everything. They're regular worshippers. They don't miss a prayer. And they're very devout religious people. Whether they're devout Muslims, devout Jews, devout Christians, whoever. But they're very honest in their religiosity. They're very honest, very sincere. And they're doing everything very sincerely and honestly. And they're very dedicated worshippers. But we have seen them, even with all that vigorous austerity, and never failing practice of their religion, their heart is not content. They go to the mosque, they go to Kaaba, they go to Vatican City, they go to Jerusalem. They're in the mosque, but their heart is not at peace. They're in a church, but their heart is not at peace. And if they ask you, why? I'm doing everything. I'm doing charity and I'm worshiping. I help the poor. I help the ones in need. I have adopted modesty. I don't hate anybody. And I'm a regular visitor to the worship place, dedicated worshiper. But with all that, I still feel something is missing. And what is it that lacks in practice of my religion? Why my heart is not content? And I answer to such a person is, maybe the choice you made in the primordial time was neither luxuries of the world nor luxuries of the paradise. Maybe the choice you made in the primordial time was God's love. Whatever you do, either you become a billionaire and you gather all the comforts and luxuries of life, if your heart is still not content, you should listen to your heart. This is telling you that the choice you made in the primordial time is not what you have today. It is something else. If you are a sincere worshipper and you're doing everything that your religion mandates for you, and still you feel something is missing, the thirst of your soul is not quenched, the ache of your heart still bothering, and your heart is not at peace, you should tell yourself that the choice you made in the primordial times was not luxuries of paradise. And then, what do? You look for God. I saw people who had money, who were religious. They have both luxuries. They were religious and they were rich, they were wealthy, and still there was a missing link. Their heart was restive. The search for inner peace was still on. But the moment they were introduced to His Holiness Gaur Shahi, and Sarkar Gaur Shahi's eyes full of spiritual glamour, spiritual charisma, and spiritual chemistry, opened the stances of the heart, and God's light entered into their hearts, and they became so peaceful, like they have found the purpose in their life. And then people started to complain, oh, this man was very religious. Since he has met Gaur Shahi, he doesn't go to a mosque anymore. An answer to them is, when he used to go to the mosque, his heart was not still content. He was looking for the content of his heart. He was looking for peace of his heart. And he has found content of his heart in his divine light. Why should he follow any religion now when religion failed to quench his spiritual thirst? These were the people who made a choice and they forgot when they were born in this world. different philosophies were hammered into their brain. Like when you go to school, your mother and your father tells you, become a doctor. Why? Because my next door neighbor's son is a doctor. They tell you, become a doctor, make money, get married, have kids. That's what they tell you every day. And you follow their instructions, sometimes half heartedly, sometimes out of respect for your parents, sometimes because you have nothing else to do. But the moment you arrive at a point where your heart feels like hooked up, your heart feels like it's being anchored at the right place, you instantly disengage in all other non religious and religious activities. All your focus is then laid on what provides your heart with internal peace. And funny enough, it is if I tell you that after I met Sarkar Gohar Shahi, I never found peace in practice of religion. I did everything, never found peace in religious practice. And when I met with Sarkar, Sarkar initiated my heart, and a relationship with God was established. But then, even when I had found God, my heart was not content, still searching for peace. Now, that is something interesting because that is something which tells us some extra bit of choice which was not available in the primordial times. The only options available in the primordial time were the options either you choose luxuries of the world or luxuries of the paradise, or you decide to be in nearness, love, or in direct face to face with God. These were the options available in the primordial time. And when you have obtained everything, still your heart is not at peace. That is a worrying thing. When you have God in your heart and still your heart is not at peace, still you think something is missing. That tells you you're not a human being. You're from a different planet. Because human beings were given few options only. And now I remember when Sarkar said, in the end times, when the awaited one manifests himself in this world, when Lord Jesus Christ has returned, there will come sons of God. They will take birth into this world. Sons of God. Although Muslims don't believe it. But that doesn't make any difference, does it? For a man with a little bit of wit in his head, for a man of intelligence and spiritual caliber, there are some gestures from God. Sometimes I see gestures in the Holy Quran, like some words of the Quran are like little tiny windows from behind which secrets of God are trying to pop out, almost impatiently waiting behind the windows. Some of the words of Quran, these are the gestures. Like when God said, and Jews believe that they are the nation of God's sons and daughters. And it is God who say to them, if they really are nations of God's sons and daughters, then why does God punish them? Sometimes you say one word, but that one word either carries answer for another question or it begets another question. If God says, If you are nation of God's daughter and God's son, then why does God punish you? It is simple to understand that God is not rejecting the possibility of having a daughter or son. God is rejecting you as nation of God's daughter and son. Because if you were really from the nation of God's daughter and God's son, then God would not punish you no matter what you did. So, like I said, sometimes some of the words or Quran appear to me as if they're small, you know, small holes in a wall, and there are some eyes peeping out from behind the wall. In a similar way, some of these words of Quran have got so much to tell you only if you have some spiritual caliber and spiritual intelligence. And this is very unfortunate. A majority of human beings do not have spiritual intelligence. Had they had any spiritual intelligence, they wouldn't have scared themselves into dozens of different denominations. We have a problem. Today we have seen that people are now discussing matters which are extra godly domain. People are now thinking about things beyond God. God mustn't have felt so much rejected before as he feels rejected today. Like I was listening to LBC today in the evening, and there was this question, there was a debate going on. There was a GP, a woman who were suffering from some mental health. She came to this GP and she said, "What should I do? Should I seek religious help?" And she said to him, "I have been demonized by some evil spirits, and I understand medical science doesn't have an answer to such things, such afflictions." And the GP said to her, "Yeah, you should seek help with exorcism. Exorcism is a knowledge whereby you have help, religious help, and somebody who is expert in this field will cast out evil spirits, bad spirits from your body, and will cast out demons from your body and set you free from demon afflictions." And they were saying, is it okay for a GP to advise his patient to seek spiritual help, religious help? They suspended that GP for giving his patient a piece of advice which his profession does not allow. So, what is the role of spirituality and religiosity in our society today? Have we not completely gone out from the perimeters set by the religion? Have we not forgotten the importance and essentiality of God in our lives? Our society has become a godless society. And obviously, if you have been afflicted and if you have been going through demonizing afflictions, medical science does not have an answer to such things. You have to seek religious advice. You have to seek religious help. Exorcism. Exorcism is the branch of religion in which you cast out evil spirits from a person. Whereas as long as you want to watch a movie, the contents of which movie are based on exorcism, you're happy. You call it a horrible horror movie, Exorcist. You must have heard of this. But not too many people know what is exorcism. Exorcism is the knowledge in which you cast out evil spirits from a body. Who you are is not a choice of you. You're bad or you're good. You're not a bad person because of your choice. And you are not a good person because of your own choice. I really don't know if you had any choice over making a choice in the primordial times. Sometimes, you know, choices are forced on you. For example, let me give you an example. You decide to remain celibate all your life. You know what celibate is? A person who doesn't want to marry all his life. A confirmed bachelor, celibate. You don't want to marry anybody. All your life you want to be a confirmed bachelor. And then you bring two, three girls and say, make a choice. Either this, this, this. Now, this choice has been forced on you. Initially, you didn't want to marry anybody. Now, technically speaking, you gave him three choices, either this woman, that woman, or the other one. Marry anybody. And you made a choice. Technically, you made a choice. But if you look at the reasons why you were forced into making a choice, you would find out that you were not making a genuine choice because you did not want to marry anybody. Similarly, when all the souls were in the assembly of God, they didn't know what to do. They were just standing there. And then God showed them two choices and said, pick one. Some of the souls picked the luxuries of the world, the others opted for the luxuries of the paradise. And a majority of souls were undecisive. You know why? Because they were looking at both sides, this one or this one, this one or this one. And the bell rang. Time is over. Now you are in the middle. You are a man or a woman without choice. Now we are in the business of spirituality and we're telling everybody to become godly and divine. Not everybody will become godly because we don't know what choice did he make. It's not just that we don't know, they themselves don't know. How do we know? How would they know? If you take an initiative and intend to embrace the message of spirituality, in few days you will find out who you are.
Aura TV. Guidance brought to you